What if you could create your own Pixar-Style 3D character way faster than ever before? In today's video, I will show you how to create perfect 3D reference images from scratch, generating detailed front, side and back views, and even separating the body and clothing into clean layers ready for 3D AR modeling, completely for free using Qwen Edit inside ComfyUI. This is the first episode of my AI to production ready series, where we will take the character we designed today and transform him into a complete 3D model. Separated, retopologized, textured, rigged, animated, and finally brought to life inside Blender or Unreal Engine. Let's start by building the perfect AR reference images, the foundation for our production ready 3D character. Having said that, let's dive right into it. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Philip from Pixel Artistry. Over the last few months, actually many of you have reached out asking me to show the entire process, like how to combine AI with traditional 3D techniques to create high quality models that are actually usable in production. And today we will start right at the beginning by creating perfect 3D reference images. These are crucial for achieving a great 3D model later on. So let's break it down step by step. Alright, to first get started, we need to create our first AI image, which will be the base for basically the whole character workflow then later on in the video. And we will do that by using ComfyUI. And in this video, I wanted to show you quickly how to utilize ComfyUI Cloud, because this was just launched a few days ago and it's super handy. It costs a bit of money. It's like $20 a month, I think, something like this. But it's completely online and you don't need to then download any models, you know, from or have a strong GPU on your local PC, and it will be all ready to use. As you can see here, you will have strong power as well from the GPUs. So you get powerful A100s with 40 gig VRAM, and you don't encounter that many technical issues. So of course, feel free to still follow along with using your local setup. That is also completely fine. And I will also explain you every step you need to do to run it locally. But in case you don't have a strong GPU and you would still like to get fast results, and I'm doing this, for example, now in the video to generate even faster images because the speed is really good, then feel free to check this out. You will find, as always, all links down below in the video description. And basically to get started is that we're going here to launch ComfyUI Cloud. And then we are already in the opening menu, let's say it like this. And then our workflow will open that I added at last. And this is in this case the Pixel Artistry image, Qwen Image. And of course, as well, you will find all workflows down below in the video description. Once you drag that in, or you can open it by going here, File and Open, you see that we have here then the Qwen Image workflow actually. And in case you're using it locally, there will be all model links available here. So you can just click on it, and then it will get directly downloaded to your PC, and it will also tell you in which folder, ComfyUI folder, you would need to copy that. Make sure then once you downloaded all those that you then press R in the ComfyUI view, then it will update all nodes, and then they will pop up like this here for you. Actually, and you just need to select them in the node itself. For the online version, the cloud version that I'm using here, they are all already plugged in and pre-installed. So in case you're using the cloud version, you don't need to do anything actually, which is great. So first step is that we need a character. And for this case, I chose to have a cartoony character. One, because it has different cloth parts that we can then split from our main model that we're going to retopologize and texture later on. And it has the advantage that it has still clean shapes and it's not getting too complex. Because when I would choose now a highly detailed model like a creature or something, or an orc, fantasy creature, whatever, it would take much longer for the whole process. A cartoon character like a Pixar or Disney style character is much simpler in terms of its shapes. So we can then work on that, but of course you can apply the same techniques on your model in case it's more complex. We will cover here also a character. In case you would like to see the same process also with a hard surface model, let me know. Like for example, a weapon or something like this. But for now, we will focus on character work since this was the most requested feature to show how to take a character from start to finish. Anyways, only thing we really need to do here once we have everything plugged in is the most important part, to have the prompt here. And in this case, I then typed in just a male character 3D model Pixar-Style. It has a solid background, T-pose, front view, full body, and looks straight into the camera. The main keywords I'm using here is always in my prompts that I have a 3D model. The style description, that it's Pixar Disney style. You don't need this necessarily, but it helps a lot in terms of style. Otherwise, I'm always using a solid background so that the 3D model is easily differentiated from the background, and that we don't have then the issue that in the end we will get anything projected in the background. Also, we have a T-pose, and I always type in front view to get a good quality, and full body, that we of course see all parts of our character and that he looks straight into the camera. So kind of a prerequisite that we don't need to edit too much later on in the process and have a great base. And this is basically everything we need to type in, and this is also always the words I'm using for my prompt. When you want to have even more detail, you could type in something like highly detailed 3D model, and then I would just remove this part here. And then you could also, once you have typed this in, then go like this, and then we'll add even more details to your character, but we want to keep things simple and clean. So I will go back to this prompt, and then you can already run the workflow. Only thing you need to take care of here is if you decide to use the 8-step loader, this will speed things up a bit, but at least as far as I understood it, you will then lose a bit of quality. But in case you're using it locally and want faster results, you could also enable this node by just clicking on here, and then it will enable and run with the loader. Anyways, we can now start running our workflow and see then what we get. Okay, awesome. And once done, as you can see, we then have our Pixar cartoony character like this one here. I think it's really great to see with all the details it has already. And this is a great base to start. Of course, it's not in T-pose yet, but we will do that now in the next step. And to do that actually is that we first go to Q, and then I will just save my character file over here. So I will just go and click on it, and then go right click and save image as. Then I can save my image. As you can see, I did that already with some tests before that, but I will just save it. I can also copy the image then. And then we can open the other workflow, which I will also link you down below. And then I will just open this one. It's the Pixar Artistry Image Qwen Image Edit workflow, the new one from the new model. Here, same treatment as well. When you are locally, just check out these models here, and that you download all of them and put them in the corresponding folders. Once you have done that, we then need to upload our image. We can choose that here. And as you can see, I did it already with our base character that we just generated. Then the most important thing is next that we type in here a new prompt. And the prompt I chose for this one is actually, and I prepared this already, that I type in put character into a T-pose for 3D rigging, front view, arms spread apart. And this will actually help us then to utilize this image that we have over here and put him into a straight T-pose, because actually we need him in this pose for rigging later on. And once you have done that, I will then run the workflow, and then we can see what we get. Then as you can see, we get our character in a perfect T-pose as expected, which is really great. His arms are spread apart, his feet as well, which is good. So just take care that also his feet are not crashing into each other or something, so that it's easy recognizable, and that we can easily separate all parts now. So this is good, and this is actually perfect for now going into 3D if we want that. But we will do one more step, because what we want to do is now to extract his body already in the image generation from his cloth that we see over here, because this this is the most effective technique to actually separate our body parts, because all separation techniques that are out there at the moment don't guarantee that you get a full body model. Because when I would split that model now in a part segmentation, which I will also show you later on in the next part of this video series, is that it will separate the arms for you, but the body underneath is not visible in this image and will so not split accordingly, and you won't have a 3D model underneath. So what we need to do is to generate him one time without cloth, just with underwear basically, and then separate all the other cloth parts that we have them also on a single image, and then we can just generate each part individually. So what we need to do for that is first that I'm going back into here, then save our image, right click, save image as, save it, and then we need to go back to our image over here. And I will do that quickly by choose file to upload. Then I will load in our 3D model in T-pose. And as you can see, we have that here loaded in. Then make sure, next thing, that we're choosing here a resolution of maybe 2K to get even better details in here. This is optional, but this will help, of course, for detail increase and so on, that it's sharper for our textures also later on. Then what I can do is next that I type in only show his body with underwear to generate a 3D model from it, no nudity. And this prompt structure worked for me very well with also different characters. Just let me know if it worked for you. I tested it on multiple ones and there it was okay. In case it doesn't work the first go, just keep generating, because as you can see, the seed is set to randomize, so it will generate each time a different image from it, and you can then see once you get a good result to move on with that. In my case, it worked really good with this one here. You just have to mark that it's no nudity attached and with underwear, so that helps a lot to then extract the cloth from it. And once you have done that, you can then run the workflow again. By the way, quick disclaimer, I have put together a detailed PDF checklist for you with all the prompt templates, direct workflow links and tools I'm using in this video. In case you would like to get it, just check out the link in the video description and I will send you the checklist straight to your inbox. Having said that, let's directly continue with the video. Alright, and once the generation is done, as you can see, we get then basically him only with underwear, but as you can see, we have now this nice body part here with all his legs and body attached, which is good, and we can then take this actually to generate a 3D model from it without his cloth. Next step we need to do is also to separate his cloth into it, so we will keep the image that we have over here, but we will of course save our latest successful image that we have over here, so I will just save that as well. And what we need to do next is that we also separate his cloth, and this can be under circumstances a bit trickier. So I prepared a bigger prompt, let's say like this, for it, a more detailed prompt, which is in this case this one here, and it will separate every visible clothing item one by the character into individual layers, and this will include then shirt, pants, belt and shoes and so on, what we see in the image. When you have a different character or completely different, you will need to exchange those parts of the prompt here, so just make sure that include everything he wears. And then it will also make sure to remove the character's body and background completely. And once we run that, we can do that quickly. It will then hopefully generate our cloth without the body itself. So let's see. Okay, great. And this worked fine for the first go. As you can see, we still have his shirt not in a straight pose like the arms, so we need to change that. But otherwise it did the separation really good. What you can always try is of course also to generate then from here, for example, the shirt itself full close up. This is also fine, but I will use the part segmentation tool later on anyways for those parts, so we don't really need that for now, but you could. What I need to change still is to make the shirt flat, so let's try it with one more go to see if that fixes it already. and if not, I will take the existing image and try to make it then straight. Okay, great, and this worked already way better, I think, from this view here. Let's maybe run it one more time to see if it then gets even straighter. Okay, great, and the third go, as you can see, worked really successfully here. We have it now in a perfect T-pose as we wanted, and we can use then this image actually to generate later our 3D model from. Alright, next step is now that we also create multiviews for our character to create them kind of from all angles, because this will help us to achieve better quality and that the AI doesn't have to guess what is on the backside, for example, or the sides. And we will get then a much more consistent output than what we would achieve with a single view. So to do that is also very easy in Qwen Image Edit. I will show you exactly how to do that. So what you need to do is basically that we go in here and we want to first load in our image where he is without cloth, because first we would like to generate each angle from him just with his body, so we get a good body result, and then we will do the same for the cloth parts. So first thing is that we're going to upload him, and then we will change the prompt here again, and let's get rid of the queue really quick. So what we do now is that we first say something like side view, so very easy, only 2 words, and then let it run and see what we get. Only thing we really have to take care of is that we don't lose any details or that the image looks way different than our original image, like the front view. So let's see what we get. Okay, great. And as you can see, we got now our side view. Everything is working correctly. Fingers are looking also fine, even though in this example, we only have 4 fingers. So let's see if we can fix that by typing in side view 5 fingers. Let's see if that fixes it already, because obviously we would like to have 5 fingers in the end. Okay, great. And it actually worked when I changed it to character has 5 fingers on each hand. So it's still possible to adjust your prompt when something is not working, which is good. So as you can see, we now have 5 fingers, but it doesn't matter that much anyways, because we will replace the hands later on in the process, but I will show you this in the retopology section later on. Anyways, once we have that, we can then save this image as well by going to Q, then save it again, and then loading in our new image. Then we can do the same for back view. Let's do it like this. And then this is our back view, which also worked great. So we will also save this one. Then we will load in our back view as well. And then we're only missing one more view, which is then going in here and then saying that we want to have, because before we had the left side of our character like here, and now we want to also have the other side of the character, so we're saying something like right view. But anyways, as you can see, we're getting then this right view, and this is already working. It doesn't need to be in this perfect pose like we have it here. You could even flip it if you want to have it, but otherwise we can leave it also as is now. And just one more additional thing which I really like to do is that I'm also generating a close-up of his face, because we need that later on in the texturing stage. So what I'd like to do, because of course we would like to have good quality on his face, so I just say close up face, something like this, and then let it run again, so that we then get a nice texture of it that we can later paint onto our character. And as you can see, this works beautifully, so we can just save this texture here, or this image, let's say like this, and then just keep it later on in the episodes to use. The same approach you can, by the way, then also do for the cloth if you would like to do that. So you would just upload your image like this one here, or all the split paths in case you manage to split them all accordingly. Otherwise you can also use it as my setup here. So then you would do the same, like front view, side view, back view, and then the right view as well, or left view, whatever the AI is spitting out for you, and that you then have the cloth and additionally also the character in all multi-view angles. Alright, so one last thing I wanted to show you, actually, this is an optional step, but still very useful in case you would like to upscale your images for perfect details once we then generate our 3D model in the next step. So what you can do is that we can open this workflow here, the Pixel Artistry Upscale workflow. This is basically just a simple upscale model, which is using the InvSr sampler. And this one is the best upscaling method I've found so far to keep all the details we have from our base image and just upscale it that we then have a very good quality in the end. And I will first choose to upload my character, my newly created one, and it would be this one in this case. And once we have done that, what I can do is simply, you just need to drag it in, by the way. This will be, of course, also in the video description under the link where you find then all workflows actually. And once you download it and dragged it in, you would just need to install missing custom nodes. By the way, this workflow here can't be run sadly on the cloud ComfyUI because this requires a manual setup because the nodes are not available on ComfyUI Cloud yet. They could be in the future, but for now we need to stick with that. So this is on local ComfyUI right now. And once you have then loaded in your image like this, you simply just need to start the workflow. That's all you need to do actually. So we click here on run, and then as you can see, it will then start here the generation. This might take a while because this upscaler is taking a bit longer than what you might know from Stable Diffusion like SD Super Upscale. So most of the time it's actually worth it to wait that amount, but yeah, just to let you know that it might take a while until the generation starts. And then I will show you the final result in a second. Right, and once it's generated, we can now look at the result, and I put in here an image compare so we can see what changed. And this is our old image, and as you can see, it's adding really good details actually to our model. And then Neon 3D, which we will use in the next video, will then easier recognize like all the fine details that we have on his face and the shapes and so on. So we have him in boxer shorts in high quality now. Anyways, you can do the same then with the cloth and each angle and so on. The total generation time only in this case took 87 seconds, which is good, I think, so not too bad for the upscaling time. So I think this is great, and yeah, I really hope you have enjoyed this video. This was the first part of the series from AI to production ready 3D model. Let me know what you think in the comments, and then see you on part 2, which will launch in a few days. Having said that, see you in the next one.